Hello, it's Mark Philpotts, the founder of City Infinity here. The next video in the Delivering Better Streets series is going to look at all sorts of things around adding value to low traffic neighbourhoods. Low traffic neighbourhoods are good things, and they can provide lots of good outcomes, but they are sometimes criticised about being fairly narrow in what get delivered. So let's look at some ideas to make them great. Let's look at some of the benefits we can add to them. We don't need to do this at once. We can do this as part of a longer term program, but it'd be nice if we can actually get some of these basic things done as we go along. So the first thing, and I think pretty fundamental, is sort out the footways. We're trying to get people to walk and wheel more. They can't do that unless the footways are in good condition. Some are in terrible condition, which dangerous for some people, off-putting for many. But let's go and do that as the absolute basic first pass. In sorting the footways out, it's easier for those who might have to drive normally. We might want to get them out of the cars, walk and wheel. It's a good chance to talk about the drop curves, the crossovers, something I've talked about in another video. Let's look at 20-mile-an-hour speed limits. Again, if we go into the effort of putting a traffic order in to deal with filters and other bits and pieces, why not make the entire area 20 miles an hour as we go? We can reduce risk exposure for people within that area. From the design point of view, it's a bit of a license for us to push a bit further on our designs, squeeze the road widths down, make things a bit harder to navigate by car, and really reinforce that 20 limit. And there's all sorts of bits and pieces in the regulations about having to light signs and various markings and traffic signs we use. 20-mile limits sweeps quite a lot of that away, but nice for efficiency. Let's get some seating in. So many people can't walk very far without having to stop to have a rest. And that might apply to anybody actually who's carrying some shopping, who might have driven before. Now they're walking, they just want to stop for a couple of minutes just to get their breath back. So let's have some seating. Somewhere to rest, somewhere for people to meet, a place to wait for other people you might be meeting. And also just get people out on the street. So you've got the whole idea of eyes on the street, people seeing what's happening, people feel safer if there's more people around. Continuous treatments. This is a junction design where you have a side street meeting a main road or a main street, and it's trying to give walking, wheeling and cycling, if you've got cycle infrastructure, priority over that emerging side street. So a continuous treatment into an LTN area would act as a gateway. They can be designed, or they should be designed, slow drivers. And as you can see in the photograph here, it's been designed to give a level crossing point as people cross that entry to the side street. A bit more expensive to deliver, has to be done on an area-wide basis for consistency reasons, but definitely something we should be doing as part of an LTM program. Good opportunity for car parking management. Again, if we put some traffic orders in, to add in parking management doesn't take any effort at all. And really on the street, it's signs and lines, not particularly expensive. We can use that to prioritise smaller and cleaner cars. We can reprioritise the area for loading and blue badge holders, get rid of footway parking, going back to my first point about sorting out the footways, and we could free up curbside space. If we've not got so many cars having to be accommodated, we can do other things with that curbside space, such as delivering sustainable drainage systems, TUDs. They're great because they can help with climate resilience, greening of the street, adding biodiversity, getting on top of the heat island issue that we have in cities, and just to give the streets a bit more interest for people passing through there. They can be big, they can be small, all sorts of things we can do. And if you free up that curb space, we can do something else with it, such as this. We can also add play into the streets, something which is, again, neglected often. But it goes back to have this whole idea of more people walking and wheeling. So if you're there with kids, it gives them more interest. Have this whole idea of sticky streets where people want to hang around, and actually use and enjoy the streets. We can have incidental play, we can add things to the street itself, and this helps with general placemaking. Parklets, I guess that's a bit of a development of some of the other themes here. Can have facades, but have seating and cycle parking, anything we like here. But again, this is about adding this interest to the street, activating the street. We can create community spaces, such as you can see in the photo here, adding places to rest, play space again, and just general fun in the street. Let's get something a bit more interesting than wall-to-wall car parking, maybe. Cycle parking is another thing we can add as we reduce some of the cars parked on those streets. Maybe we can create something for cycle parking, whether it's long-term or short-term. And again, we're asking people maybe to switch on their journeys to cycling. So this is about destination parking. It's about parking at home. Maybe people haven't got secure facilities, so we can now add them because we've released some of that curb space. It's about supporting local business, local community places, uh, secure facilities, and space for visitors. And we can create some new spaces. If we don't need all that space for moving traffic through it or motor traffic through it, we can completely redefine somewhere. So a nice little example here. This was just a road with a couple of footways. It's now an important cycling link, has some cycle hire stations there. Maybe a bit of an interim use here with the landscaping, fairly cheap and straightforward, but we've now created a new space where they didn't have one before. So new destinations in terms of there may be shop opening that would benefit from some seating outside. We can remanage that space, all sorts of things that we can do here with this. And yes, low traffic means less traffic management. A lot of the stuff that we have on the streets is there to manage motor traffic, parking signs, traffic calming, um, parking bays, all this stuff that goes around to manage the movement and parking of vehicles. If we can get rid of some of that traffic, we can get rid of some of that stuff. And that's good because it's low revenue costs. Less clutter on the footways maybe, the street itself can show through the architecture of the buildings, that kind of thing. Really nice example here. Traffic signals, it's so quiet, they're not required. They're traffic management tools. So get rid of the traffic, you don't need to manage it. So there you go, a few ideas to make low traffic neighborhoods better. Look out for my next video.